There's something unusual in the air on Tyneside, and it's not just the usual pre-season nerves. It's deeper than that. A quiet tension has begun to creep through the corridors of St. James Park, unsettling supporters and raising serious questions. Yes, the team is strengthening. The board is working, looking for solutions to improve the squad. But at the same time, one specific detail has started to stand out, a piece of information that, although not widely reported, has already caused a stir behind the scenes. The talk in Newcastle's pubs is no longer just about new signings or potential sales. The whispers now revolve around one of the most important players in the current squad, a player who's become a symbol of the club's football project, a player with all the tools to make history at St. James Park, but who is now, because of one contractual detail, at the center of what could be the most delicate negotiation of the Eddie Howe era. What's going on? Why has this issue caused so much internal friction, even though his contract is still valid? Before I reveal what's really happening, and trust me, no one saw this coming, I want to ask you for something important. If you love Newcastle United, if you follow every detail of the club and want to stay updated on what the mainstream media doesn't tell you, subscribe to this channel right now. It helps us massively to keep bringing you exclusive, credible content for the Toon Army. It's free, it's quick, and it strengthens the black and white community right here. Now back to the story. A few days ago, trusted sources like journalist Graham Bailey from TBR Football started reporting on a discreet move involving Newcastle's main striker, Alexander Isak. At first, it sounded straightforward. The club was naturally opening talks with the Swede to extend his contract, acknowledging his importance in the squad. But then, everything changed. What was supposed to be a simple negotiation suddenly became a source of concern. And here's the key issue. Alexander Isak, according to TBR Football, was demanding a weekly wage of £300,000. That's right, the Swedish striker, already highly valued internally and seen as the future face of the club, now wants to double his current salary and reach a figure that even Bruno Guimaraes, the club's highest earner, doesn't receive. Internally, this demand has come as a surprise and has created some discomfort. The board had hoped to negotiate a deal around £200,000 per week, already a break from the current wage structure according to TBR Football's exclusive report. Newcastle is still willing to make Isak the highest paid player in the club's history, but not to that extent. The figures his representatives are requesting go far beyond what the board considers sustainable, especially at a time when the club is still financially rebuilding to compete at the highest level. There's also a fear that such an inflated deal could destabilize the dressing room, leading to comparisons and internal pressure for further pay rises. If you're enjoying the video so far, hit the like button and turn on notifications. That way, whenever we post new updates from the inside, you'll be one of the first to know. Your support really helps us keep the channel going strong, always bringing you reliable information from sources like TBR Football, Sky Sports and more. Graham Bailey also reported that Isak's desire to renegotiate came shortly after the club extended Anthony Gordon's contract. Isak and his team saw that as a signal that he too should be given improved terms. And while the striker has made it clear he's open to talks, his camp insists he must be recognized as one of the top forwards in Europe, both in status and salary. And that's where the negotiation starts to get tricky. Isak's current contract runs until 2028. In other words, Newcastle aren't under pressure to renew right away. But the mood behind the scenes, especially after recent comments from his agent, has made the situation more delicate. In an interview with Saudi outlet Ariadia, Isak's agent said they are considering all options and could be close to finalizing the next step in the striker's career. What is this next step? A renewal, a quiet stay, or a sudden departure? It's worth remembering that Liverpool made an inquiry about Isak earlier this month, before finalizing a deal for Hugo Ekitike. Arsenal were also monitoring the striker at the start of the window but stepped back due to the high fee and strong competition. The Gunners have now turned their attention to Victor Djic. Meanwhile, Saudi Pro League clubs have also shown interest in Isak, but according to TBR Football, the striker has no desire to move to the Middle East at this stage of his career. And if you're a regular here, you know we always go beyond the headlines. So once again, if you're not subscribed yet, now's the perfect time. That way you won't miss the next updates on the Isak situation, attacking reinforcements, and everything else happening at Newcastle United. We're here daily with full coverage and reliable sources. What's most surprising is that despite this contract tension, the club remains firm. Alexander Isak is not for sale. That has also been confirmed by TBR Football. In fact, the board are actively looking for a new attacking partner for Isak, someone who can rotate as the number 9 throughout the season. With Callum Wilson expected to leave, this process has gained urgency. One of the names on the radar is Brentford striker Jon Wissa. Talks have already started, with the London club asking for around £50 million. However, it's believed Newcastle could close the deal for closer to £40 million. Wissa is seen as a good fit for Eddie Howe's style and someone who can complement Isak in the front line. A targeted signing, but a significant one. All of this shows that Newcastle are truly committed to strengthening their core and improving the squad. But the Isak situation raises a big question. How far is the club willing to go to keep their stars? And more importantly, how long are the players willing to wait for that recognition? The season hasn't even started yet, and the behind-the-scenes drama is already heating up. If you find this kind of in-depth coverage valuable, leave a comment down below. What do you think about Isak's wage demands? Should the club meet them? Or is it better to protect the current wage structure to avoid a domino effect in the squad? Your opinion matters, and it helps create a real discussion among fans who truly follow the day-to-day of the club. To sum up, Alexander Isak wants to be treated like a star, and Newcastle know they have a rare gem on their hands, arguably the best striker since Alan Shearer. But they also need to balance ambition with financial responsibility. This saga is just getting started, and the next few chapters are likely to be intense. Stay tuned right here, because we could have fresh updates on this case and more attacking moves at any moment. Until then, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and stay with us for full daily behind-the-scenes coverage of Newcastle United. Here you'll always get the news first and with credibility. Let's go Magpies!